Hi, Anna Welly here, Ayurveda practitioner and yoga health coach. And this video today is about my top 10 tips to support you in reaching your health goals and hitting your targets with ease. So if you watched the first couple of videos in this 5-video series, you probably got some of the tips already. My first number one tip is to set a SMART goal. So there's a particular way that you can make a goal that will support you in helping make that goal happen. And we do that by structuring the goal as a SMART goal. So if you haven't seen video number 2, you can connect back to that. Should be a link below. If not, just send me a message. Second tip is to ground the goal into your daily habits. So you want to articulate what it is that you desire. So you set your intentions and then you create this SMART goal. So this big vision for what it is that you're stepping into. And then you want to put all of your energy, attention, and focus into the daily action steps that you take, into your daily habits. And in particular, in my 10-week course, Soul Body Bliss, we work with 10 specific habits that are the most essential, kind of like the priority of what it is that you want to do for yourself to make your health goals happen. Those 10 healthy habits that we do in my Soul Body Bliss 10-week course are: number 1, you want to eat at the optimal times each day. So you want to figure out what time you have breakfast, lunch, and dinner to support your body for ultimate health. Number 2 is you want to have a relaxing evening routine and go to bed early so you're getting optimal sleep. So if you have an early and light dinner and you go to bed at an earlier hour, you're actually also supporting the processes of the liver detoxing the blood and detoxing the body. So you go through these kind of like, in Ayurveda we call it the subtle agnis, the subtle transformative fires, will move through your body and kind of cleanse house on more of a cellular and tissue level. So you wake up feeling more clear, light, and really kind of refreshed. The next habit, number 3, is to start the day right. And if you are on my email list, you probably have my essential morning routine already down. But that one is where you wake up, you set your intentions for the day, you might pray, you're just really kind of tapping in again to that bigger vision that you have. And then so you can take your daily choices in alignment with that belief that you have or the intention that you set. Then you drink a large glass of water, preferably warm, maybe with lemon, and you flush your channels and clear out your system. You have a healthy bowel movement so you can release the waste from yesterday and kind of just empty out and lighten up your system. Fourth habit that we work on, or the fourth practice, is your exercise routine, or breath body practice, we call it. Fifth daily habit is your plant-based diet. And so that can be anywhere from moving away from processed foods and moving more into wholesome natural foods. It might be about how many vegetables you're eating every day. So maybe one of the new habits could be having 50% of your meal be alkalizing green veggies. It might be about eating more seasonally, eating for your digestive type, eating from the local wild ecosystem, something like that. So you're improving on your plant-based diet. One of the habits might even be creating a meal plan every week so that you can set yourself up to have and eat the food that you want to eat. You know, that's just one of the small habits that we work on in my course. The next habit is self-massage, abhyanga, giving yourself an oil massage every day. Seventh habit is sitting in silence and doing a daily meditation practice. And so this is one of those essential habits that may not directly feel like it's connected towards your goal. So there might be people that have a goal of wanting to be more connected to their subtle body. Maybe they want to be more in attunement with their intuition, or open up more space to create more of a spiritual experience in their life, be more connected to their heart and soul. So then, of course, meditation would be an obvious one. But if your goal is something related more towards time management or towards weight loss, you might not think meditation would be important for you. But in actuality, it could be one of the key habits that will support you in your success. It can help improve your mental focus, your mental clarity. It might support you in staying connected to your center, so you're making better choices about the food that you're eating, or it just will keep you focused on your daily actions so that you are using your time more effectively and more efficiently. All right, the 8th habit that we do is healthier eating guidelines, and this one is about how you eat, not about what you eat. The 5th habit is what you eat in the plant-based diet. Healthier eating guidelines is more about improving the way that you relate, or just the way that you eat, the habits you have around food. So it might be giving up on snacking and only having water in between your meals. So you're just having 3 solid meals per day. It might be about being present with your food, about sitting down and staying connected to your food as you eat. It might be about blessing your food and giving thanks before your food becomes your body. It could be about not eating on the go, not eating and talking too much, or being distracted through conversation or TV or your phone or something like that. The 9th habit we have is sense organ care, and this especially supports people to age gracefully. The 10th habit we have is easeful living, and easeful living is really all about your relation to life. This one I find to be so key and so important, and that all of the habits 1 through 9 support easeful living, and easeful living supports all of the habits 1 through 9. So it's really a lot about it is just being deeply present from your self-awareness, and from that place of presence, allowing the true essence of yourself, the love and light and peace and grace emanating from your heart, to support you through all of the turns and twists and waves and storms in the sea of life. So easeful living is about falling back into your center, grounding yourself into your awareness of self, and then moving and navigating through life from there, from that place of more easefulness, more grace. So those are the top 10 essential habits that I work with in my 10-week course, Soul Body Bliss. And these what we find to be the most kind of key baseline foundational daily habits that you want to take that will support you in your health goals. And if you have these mastered, then you start throwing on other stuff on top of that. But most people are still working on these in some arena or another. Okay, the next of my top 10 tips that I have in helping you reach your health goals is, once you're keyed up and you're clear on what habits that you want to have, you structure your new habit. And there's 3 components of structuring your new habit. Number 1 is you want to be really specific. So you're absolutely clear about what habit it is that you're working on. Number 2, you want to make it easy. So it's something that you're actually going to do. It's too hard, you're not going to do it and you're going to fail. So you want to make sure it's something that you can do. And then number 3 is you want to have a reminder or a trigger that supports you to do the habit. So it just reminds you to make it happen. And we have 5 essential key reminders that we use: specific time, a specific place, another person, a prior action, or a emotion. And those are the things that can remind you to do the habit that you're anchoring into your daily actions. 4th tip that I have for you is to use the Kaizen approach. And Kaizen is a Japanese word for the embodied philosophy of slow, continuous change. So you're doing something in the kind of like the baby steps. You're taking you're taking off little pieces, little chunks at a time. You're not making these massive changes. You're not completely rehauling your diet or rehauling your exercise routine. You're just like doing one little step at a time. You're following the Shakti. You're doing what sounds fun. You're going where the energy wants to go. You're picking the lowest hanging fruit first. 5th step is you architect your environment. So you need to change the things around you that support the habits that you want to have. So like I said in the previous video, that might mean detoxing the kitchen cabinets, rearranging the fridge, getting rid of stuff that doesn't support the diet that you want to have. It might mean rehauling your bedroom space so that it just supports a sleeping environment for you. It could be reconfiguring the bookmark tabs that you have on your computer so that you're more likely to click on the things that you want to click on, or things that support the habits that you want. 6th tip is to get guidance or get support. And like I said in the previous video, there's a saying that every guru has a guru. So every master had a teacher that supported them to get them where they want to go. And we just know that when we are following in the path of someone that really paved a way, we can get there faster and we can make it a hell of a lot easier. People become experts or trained in these arenas through their own blood, sweat, and tears, through their own trial and error. And so, in that sense, they really are paving the way for us, that support us in overcoming obstacles maybe that we didn't even know were going to appear, or just using their most refined techniques or their plan of action that we wouldn't otherwise be able to come up with. So if you're following in the footsteps of someone that was able to get to where you want to go, you're going to get there faster and it's going to be way easier. So that means investing in a coach or a 10-week program. It might mean following certain blogs, reading more books, listening to podcasts, really just kind of keying yourself up and finding those leaders, those coaches, teachers, guides that support you in becoming the person you want to become, in reaching the goals that you want to have. The next step is to find a peer evolutionary group that is also going in through that same process as you. There's been a ton of studies that have been done that show that peer support and being part of a collective container increases your chance for success by 70 to 85%. That's huge. So we know that going at it alone is hard. It can feel even isolating or lonely, but also it's not as fun and it's not as easy. And so when we come together as a group, we are sharing in our own struggles and we're also sharing in our own wins and celebrating together. We lift each other up and we create a field of resonance, this kind of energetic space that supports us in moving towards those desires, those goals that we have. The next step, number 8, is to use your motivation intelligently. And I think I touched upon this in the last video. Motivation is not something we can rely on. Motivation is fickle and we don't know when it's going to show up. So for people that are waiting to be motivated to get out and exercise or to tackle this big project or revamp their living environment or something like that, good luck. It's not going to work. I'm sorry. Motivation is not something you can rely on. You can use it when it shows up, for sure, and definitely cash in on that. Motivation's there, ride that wave all the way to the beach. You can use motivation to support your future desired behaviors by doing the hard things that require more motivation and reducing the blockages that make it easier to go towards the future desired behavior. So for instance, if you're motivated, you might go ahead and try out that new recipe that you've never done before that takes more attention and focus, a little bit more energy and effort to pull it off. So then in future days or future weeks, when you're not as motivated, you already know how to make that desired plant-based diet meal that supports you in your goals. So you're using that motivation in a way that supports you, but you're not relying on it. When motivation's not there, you do the Kaizen approach. You do what's easy, what sounds fun, where the momentum is going, what kind of maintains your flow, and you're in that automation mode. Next step, my 9th tip, is to connect into your identity. This is probably one that you maybe haven't heard of, maybe you have, but really what it's about is that what you currently believe about yourself, who you believe yourself to be, is inadvertently or directly supporting the daily choices that you make, consciously or subconsciously. So who you believe yourself to be influences the daily action steps that you have. So to take new steps towards the goals that you want to have, to ground those daily action steps into in alignment with what you're becoming, you need to believe something new about yourself. You need to be keyed into and be clear about who you want to be, what you want to experience in life. When you're more working on an identity-based evolution, then you know more where those daily action steps and that effective action is going to come into play and what it needs to look like. You can also then find people that relate more to the person or support the person that you want to be through your key relationships, through your friends, your family, through the teachers and guides, through the evolutionary group that you want to join into, through the blogs and the books and the podcasts that you're putting into your intention, your environment, your awareness. So identity evolution is another really big key concept that we work with on my 10-week course, Soul Body Bliss. The last tip that I have, number 10, is to invest in yourself. And this can look a lot of different ways. This investment can be about your time, your energy, your awareness, your money. And there can be, people hold a lot of blocks around this about different ways they can invest in themselves. One simple thing could be that you have this natural tendency to put other people first. And I think this one is like really predominant for mothers. They have little people that are dependent upon them, so they need to put those other kids first, or maybe a husband, or maybe it is even just related to your job or your work or your employees or the business that you have. And so there might need to be a dramatic shift into investing in yourself, investing in your own personal growth and your own self-care. And it might be really difficult for that to happen, but then subsequently, the people around you will benefit from that, and you'll be able to show up to support them and care for them in a better way. So that can be a huge one. But learning about how to invest in yourself, maybe spend money on yourself, to invest in a program or a course or a coach or a book or a blog or whatever it is. I guess not a blog's free. But that could be your attention or where you're putting your energy. So that's a big one in and of itself, is like, how can I invest more energy and attention and awareness into me, into my goals, into what I want to create for my life? And there could be a lot around that you want to work with, and even more specific ways that you want to articulate how you're going to make that happen for yourself, where you can carve out more time or let go of other commitments that you have, so that energy is freed up to be more redirected into you and the desires that you have, that you want to create those goals, those intentions. And then the last thing to share is kind of like the bonus tip, is to really have a lot of patience with yourself, a lot of compassion, and exercise a lot of self-love, because you're going to need it. And it's so essential to be caring and tender with yourself in the process. A lot of the times, and I see this so much in myself and with the clients that I work with, is we start out in the 10-week course, we start out fresh and excited and inspired. And it sounds really easy. It sounds like, oh, I'm just going to improve my diet, I'm going to exercise some more, I'm going to wake up and drink lemon water and meditate, and it's going to be so fun, and I'm really going to do it this time, it's going to be amazing. And then week 5, 6, 7, 8 comes along, and then it gets hard, and all this shit comes up. And there's all this kind of stuff that you didn't know was blocking you from your goals, or just life gets crazy, or something happens and your mom gets sick, or somebody goes to the hospital, or somebody loses their job, or whatever. Like, life happens, and we are tested, and we really are we're confronted with these dragons, or this kind of, maybe this shadow stuff that rises to the surface. Whatever that it might be, it's going to require a lot of patience, compassion, and self-love. And so there might even be some specific things that you could think of ways that you can exercise love to yourself or compassion to yourself to support you when those challenges are likely to arise. So you could key that in right now and even write it down. How can I show myself love when the going gets tough? What is that going to look like? How am I going to be able to give myself a hug? What might I say to myself? What phrases might I use? Is there a certain mantra? Is there a book? Could I just tell someone else what I might need and help that be a supportive process for me? Whatever it might look like for you, but just remembering that that's going to be really essential and really key in the process of reaching your health goals. Okay, I hope this has been helpful for you. If you want to go deeper into this work, we go into these 10 key tips, these 10 processes way more in depth than my 10-week course. And we really dive into those 10 habits that I told you about at the beginning, those top 10 Ayurveda practices or key essential yoga lifestyle habits. We dive into those, we dive into the behavior changing techniques, we play with our identity behavior, we go through a lot of self-inquiry practices, and these are all the different ways that I support you into reaching your health goals and creating more of the life that you desire, supporting yourself to show up as your best self, or just to kind of continue to play in this game of self-evolution and personal growth. Um, as a front runner, being really engaged in that process for yourself, for whatever it is that you want to create. So if you'd like to talk a little bit more about it, if you would like to get some personalized support and maybe figuring out which one of these top 10 tips will be most useful for you right now, or what your top 3 habits are that you should be practicing to support the goal that you want to create, you can schedule a free 20-minute coaching session with me. The link should be below, and it's free. It's available to everybody, and I'm here to support you. It really is my pleasure. It's my delight to support you in making these things happen for yourself. Because the more that you show up in your best way, the more that the world benefits from that. And so this is how, to me, I think we create the change in creating the world that we want to see and be a part of. So I hope that's helpful. And if you have any questions, let me know. I hope to talk to you soon. Namaste.